Delegates and faculty advisors and other distinguished guests, welcome to the 2014 Israel Middle East Model United Nations Conference. Here in Timemun, we have an opportunity to take control and voice our own voices and thoughts. The art of debating and the ability to really hear the other side and their needs are critical to solving the issues. In conflict resolution, there is a platinum rule, which states, treat others the way they would like to be treated. Make new friendships and expand your horizons.
I'm András Volom. I'm from Hungary, from József Secondary School of Budapest.
Lisa Flam, Vice Hadasim, Special Committee, and UAE.
My name is Barbour. I'm in the Crisis Committee, the Arab League. I'm representing Iraq, and I come from the delegation of Seeds of Peace.
I'm Sirin Anbusi from Bakka, Gerbia. I study in the Qasimi High School. I'm representing USA in the Timemun.
Hi, my name is Adi Horash, and I'm from the Science School in Lodz, and I am chairing the Arab League Committee for Crisis.
What's special about the Crisis this year?
This is my first time doing Crisis, but I believe that what is special about Crisis that when you do Crisis, you gotta be prepared for anything. It teaches you a lot of things that we deal in our everyday life, because in everyday life you can't expect what's gonna happen, and that's definitely what happens in a crisis. You can't expect anything. Crisis gives you skills to deal with the unexpected.
Crisis Committee is crazy. Being in crisis, we have a crisis that has to deal with a health epidemic, an epidemic that breaks out in Sudan and then spreads out to the rest of the world.
How is it representing views opposite to yours?
In MUN, we have to agree on things that we do not believe in them, but we have to fit. You're Palestinian, you are against almost everything in this conflict, and it hurts you so bad, but you have to vote in favor of this, and you have to support things that you do not.
In the beginning, it was really hard to look at the total opposite from what I believe, and then it became more difficult because when I was in the UAE point of view, I was totally against Israel, and at some point I just had to find the balance between both perspectives.
I could see is that the greatest problems are on the government-to-government level. If you ask someone on the streets, most of the times people would say that they want peace, and it doesn't matter if they are Arab or Jewish.
Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a conflict that's very close to my heart. It's a regular topic at home, and I think that the more awareness that kids have about it, the more likely it is that it gets not solved, but it progresses in a positive direction in the near future.
From a diplomatic point of view, the thing to be is to try to make the situation better for now, because peace is a really hard thing to negotiate.
I think that we are probably the only conference in the world that could do special committee. Special committee is a hot potato. It is a committee that examines the Palestinian and Israeli issues in trying to reach peace. And as such, students are coming in with very, very strong opinions of their own, and yet they're not allowed to voice those opinions because they have to represent a country.
The crisis was really fun. The crisis was very imaginative to plan. It took a lot of imagination, and it was very different from other committees because we could make whatever we wanted to happen.
Special committee is special in the way that it takes a very local issue, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which has very many emotional connections, many emotional ties with a lot of the students that are in the committee. And it brings together Israeli Arabs, Palestinians to debate it, by debating it in a peaceful manner. So they're not representing their own views, but they're looking at an outside world and representing different nations. And they manage to bring a world perspective into it in a way like no other.
As the director of Model United Nations, I feel particularly blessed having an opportunity to see students out of the classroom and see them in a completely different environment. This is a student-run committee, and the students who run Timemun, the Secretary General, the officers, the chairs, are amazing. And it's a privilege to watch them work.
Personally, I believe that Ahinoam is one of the best ways to get a deeper insight in international politics, global issues and diplomacy. But the most important is that you make really good friendships and you meet a lot of different cultures. That's really important.
I've learned a lot about time management, getting things done, delegation of responsibilities, and also just about world affairs and current events.
Well, Ahinoam in general is an amazing program. It teaches you life skills of public speaking and collaboration and compromise and working with others on problems that us teenagers would never have to solve if we weren't in such a club.
An amazing experience for our whole delegation.
The conference was amazing.